Hello and welcome to another dose of SirToshi's podcast. I'm here with the Bitcoin Tramp, aka Nicky New. We're just going to do some freestyling as we were doing before. But before we do that, let's do the usual. Experience the best of both worlds today at betbitcoinsv.com, the best casino and sports betting on chain. Have a little flutter in private using the original protocol and genuine Bitcoin. Right then,
It's SirToshi, like a cowboy in the West, riding on the blockchain that they call the very best. 1 million strong, them transactions flying free. Just wait for the terror node, you'll surely see.
There we go. Tramp mate, are you there?
Are you getting me?
Hey, how's it going?
Not bad, mate. How are you?
Well, mate, I'm sweating a little bit with everything that's going on social media. You know, it's getting a little bit hot out there.
When you say social media, what social media? We talking X, are we?
Yeah.
What's happening?
Oh, you know, all the riots and stuff that's going on.
Yeah.
A little bit hairy, mate.
It is.
And I would say, from a looking at it from a zoomed out perspective, it's all because of Bitcoin, mate. The powers that be do not want to lose control of the financial system, and they are determined to bring in this totalitarian one world government that they've been working on for years and years and years. And if people start using a money that's outside of their financial control and gets away from their securities fraud that they're perpetrating on everybody, they lose control of everything, because all legal and economic power, well, all legal and political influence stem from economic power, and that's what Bitcoin gives us.
So just to get it clear to your viewers, the reason why there are riots in England at the moment is because of Bitcoin, yeah?
Ultimately, yeah. It was gonna happen anyway, but the reason it's happening right now and they're accelerating things so fast is because they can't allow people to wake up to the fact that Bitcoin is true money. Because they've spent thousands of years corrupting the financial system, making us believe that the fiat currency or the securities fraud they're perpetrating on us is a load of BS.
Well, you're the first person who I've heard, I think, since all the riots started, who's actually tried to connect it to Bitcoin.
Well, the thing is, though, it's like I said before, it's Albert Pike's letter to Mazzini, who said the Third World War must be instigated between the Christians and the Muslims, and that's exactly what we're seeing. He predicted the First and the Second World War. Well, actually, he didn't predict them. He outlined what was needed in order to create them. Hence, they happened, and now we're here.
What you think? You think we're in the middle of a war now?
They're trying to start one, mate.
Who is?
The powers that be, who want to install a totalitarian one world government.
Okay.
Yeah, might be a little bit far-fetched for some. I totally get it, but kind of like when you understand how big this conspiracy is, mate. Like when you've actually studied the history, mate. I've gone right back to the cuneiform tablets, mate. Yeah, they were created 400,000 years ago.
Wow, that's quite a way, isn't it?
Yeah, mate. Yeah. And then you got the Sumerian Kings List, which describes how they used to have rulers back in the day that ruled for an average of about 16,000 years and had lifespans of 30,000+ years.
Mad, mate.
Yeah, mate, and all this has been hidden from us, hidden by the Smithsonian Institute. So okay. all the history that we've been taught is an absolute load of BS. In order to make us stupid and ignorant, because if you can hide people's history, you can mold their future, because they have no idea about their history and who they are or what they're meant to be, anything like that. You know, oh right, well you're meant to be slaves and you are going to be slaves. Oh right, then I guess this is just the way it is. But then if we suddenly go, hold on a minute, you've got no right to enslave me and tell me what to do. Where'd you get your authority from? The moment people start questioning it, which they would do if they feel as though they have a sense of self-identity from their history, you know, that's when people start waking up.
I don't think people will wake up, mate. I think it's, you lot in BSV are all paranoid and you're all conspiracy theorists, and there's about 30 of you. and all your fucking heads have gone a little bit because you've all lost your money, and now the world's against you, and it's a bit like that. But look, you lot are into your conspiracies, Toshi. I get that, and I'm not even sort of slightly disrespectful of me to call it a conspiracy, even, but I'm just not into all that stuff, mate. And what I find with you lot who talk about stuff like that is none of you do anything about it. You've all got the bollocks to talk about it and say how unfair it is and all this, that, and the other, but you won't do a single thing about it.
Well, I'm sort of financially constrained to do anything about it at the moment.
What, because of Craig? And by the way, how do you feel about that dickhead's history lessons as well? Then, if you're not into history.
Do you know, I haven't actually had time to listen to them all, but I mean, if you're into that kind of thing, then it's educational.
And what sort of dickhead gets bummed in court and then 2 days later goes on and does a lecture about law? What a fucking knob! Imagine that, yeah. You get bummed in court and then 2 days later you're doing a lecture to 7 people, including Joel Daly, about law. I mean, what a clown, man! He's really making you lot look like clowns in a minute, isn't he? And also, speaking of the price and all that, Toshi, right? Do you know anything about the price crash? Because that was quite a big price crash, wasn't it? We saw recently. I didn't know it until you told me.
Yeah, it was pretty big, wasn't it?
Yeah. I wasn't aware of it until you said, yeah. But they all went walkies. BTC lost about 10 grand.
Yeah. Well, I'll just do. I can see if I can have a look at a comparison chart here between the fried rice of Greg coin.
Last time I saw BSV, it was 35 notes. Well, actually, if you put it in English money, probably about 26 notes or something.
It looks like they've yeah, I mean it actually looks like Bitcoin has crashed more than Greg coin has in comparison.
Yeah, well, nothing's going to hold BSV up apart from Calvin's hard-earned money, is it really? Do you know what I mean? Like, if you're listening to this, Calvin, I'm not taking a piss, bro, but we all know, mate. We all know it's you that's keeping the chain alive, man. And respect to you as well. I mean, I don't use the chain like everyone else, but I hope in the fucking next 10 years you get your money back, man, because it's bang out of order what's happened to you, Calvin. Bang out of order. Yeah?
Yeah, well, Calvin's done his research, mate. His lawyers spent millions.
Yeah, like you lot done your research, yeah, that are now sitting at less than 10% of the all-time high.
Yeah, it hurts, mate. But Craig, I'm telling you, mate, Craig had his plan. Yeah, those rolling icebergs were lined up, mate.
Yeah, and then you were the single. Just in case anyone doesn't realise, it was SirToshi that stopped the rolling iceberg single-handedly, wasn't it, Toshi?
Well, it wasn't me that stopped them. It was Craig that was going to do them, and he had them in his control. I was just like, you might want to reconsider what you're doing because of the consequences.
Oh, right. And the way you sort of told me was that you were like, you made it sound to me like you were the sole reason why he didn't do the rolling icebergs.
Well, I mean, he had 1.4 million lined up, mate. They were literally they were ready to go. I was like, whoa, hold on.
You didn't. So when I was telling my mate about this, what you said, he said, so SirToshi didn't want the BSV number up, and I said, no. He was so concerned about the world, he didn't want Craig to do that.
Yeah. That's correct.
Everyone just burst out laughing, and we had a fucking right laugh over you.
Oh, mate, that's fair. That's fair enough. That's fair enough. That's all I can say on that one.
Come on, dude, man. Come on, dude. He's done you lot, mate. He's cost you loads of money. It's such a shame, Toshi, mate. And I think even the BTC lot, they feel sorry for you lot now. Like, they're literally reaching a point now where I think they're so entertained by the downfall of BSV on social. Oh yeah, by the way, Toshi, mate, I got banned from Twitter.
Yeah, I saw it, mate. I saw it, mate.
Can you believe that? Right, just basically, right. You know that thing on the Olympics where you had that blonde person who had also a beard.
Was that in the opening ceremony?
In the opening ceremony,
yeah,
me and my
brother
was having a chat on the phone about getting some Tottenham tickets for next season, and we were both watching the opening ceremony, right? And the whole thing was quite dubious, yeah.
Yeah,
but, you know,
just
you know
a little
what I mean?
bit.
Well, the bit that stuck out for me was that blonde-haired person with the beard, right?
Yeah.
You could probably tell the beard was fake or whatever, but then these days they chisel their beard so tight you don't even know if it's fake or real, do you?
That's true. Yeah.
And all I did, Toshi, was I made a comment under a post that I said I personally couldn't tell whether that was Gandalf's son or Gandalf's daughter. Right? That was it. I got done. I got cold. I got freaking cold over that.
No way.
Mate, like, do you know what, mate? That is a danger of being
Right,
our age.
and how many followers has your Twitter account got?
I don't know, to be honest, because we don't really take it seriously. But no, not enough followers to care about it.
Over 1,000?
I don't think so. No.
Holy shit! So your profile hasn't even got 1,000 followers, and yet they deemed a little comment like that, and they've got enough resources to have their eyes on your profile that's only got 1,000
I don't mind
followers.
if they take the piss out of my cock. Yeah, it's not a problem. Take the piss back, right? But it's like anything you say about that, you've actually offended a lot of people, even just using that one word. And I think it's because I said the T word. It rhymes with fanny, but it begins with TR. You know what I mean? Right? Funnily enough, isn't it ironic as well, Toshi? Yeah, it rhymes with fanny. Yeah. So I said that word, and that was it. Now, when I said it flippantly. I put my hand up, and perhaps it's my bad for being from the wrong generation of people. You know, because like our fathers were, they say, I don't know about your old man, Toshi, but my old man, like, he says things sometimes, and I think, mate, if you said that in public, you've had it. You've had it.
Yeah,
Like,
you do get that. But I mean, that the word that rhymes with fanny, I don't really think that's derogatory, because it's just an abbreviation for the actual word that they use to identify themselves with.
But then what I've come to realise is that that's not our domain to actually decide that, which is ridiculous. Like, we're not allowed to decide that. That's someone else's rules, isn't it? You see. So because I've said that now, I'm not allowed to socialise with them. I mean, I don't care, Tosh, because like I say, we never took that account seriously in terms of it being an influential account. It was never supposed to be that. It was supposed to be the genuine retweets account where the jobs that were going through, it was a notification system for the jobs going through. That was it. And then obviously when everyone sort of blew our business out and decided they didn't like Ben and I, we just have been trolling on it and mucking around on it ever since. And I've said some proper, like, stuff on there. Yeah, even having a laugh with you and that, I say stuff. I do, right? And they've never pulled me on nothing. I call you a dickhead, or I call someone a dickhead, or something, which in my opinion is quite bad, actually, just to come out and call someone a dickhead. Yeah. It's quite disrespectful, actually. But they let that go, right? But the minute you say the T word, you're gone.
Well, mate, this is what I'm telling you about. So, why would that? Again, the world is changing and all this, and I'm telling you, like it's noticeable. Like, particularly here, like where I am, if you go to any of the like the big brand shops, right, there are very, very well. I haven't seen any frontline staff who are straight white males. They're either gay or they're ethnic minorities, literally. Like, and I know loads of straight white males now that have applied for jobs, and they have to fill in this form that says, what sexual gender are you and whatever. I mean, it's so intrusive. It's utterly discriminatory, because they're not giving the jobs out for, as Martin Luther King said, you judge somebody by the content of the character. Again, it's none of that. It's just kind of like, all right, well, so long as you're an ethnic minority or homosexual, and identify with one of the colours on the, on this flag that we've got, that we call it inclusive, but excludes any heterosexual family, and
No, I think what I'm seeing at the moment, Toshi, I believe a lot of white people are suffering from racism, right?
Yeah.
And it does piss me off at the end of the day, because I do have a lot of white friends, and I grew up with a lot of white people, even though I'm black. Yeah. And I never even think about the fact that you're white until we have to have these horrible discussions where we actually both bring it up and stuff. But neither of us has ever brought it up once since I've known you, because
it's never been an issue.
I've never thought, oh, SirToshi's white. I've never once thought that, and I don't think.
That's because I've got orange hair, mate. Do you know what I mean? Nice looking fox.
Keep telling yourself that, man. No, but it's never come up, Toast, because in England, I think it's less of importance. But I think in America, the way they sort of seem to treat each other out there, people of differential, I'd say it's a bit stronger than what's over here, right? But just sticking on the subject of white people going through racism, yeah, right. why are all white people being called like fascist far right? Even though I've seen elements of that recently, yeah. And there's always going to be elements of, oh, there's a meat wagon going past my house right now. That's mad. You know, you see elements of that, Toshi, right? Of elements of far right. Like I've been to boxing matches where you've seen 20 people come around the corner with bomber jackets and skinheads all doing a certain sign, right?
Yeah.
I've been in that environment, and that was 20 years ago, right? But what I'm getting, what I think is a bit out of order is basically they're making all white people like far right, all white people. Yeah,
Yeah,
and
mate.
then when you actually look in some of these protests and that, Toshi, there's a variety of people in these protests. It's not like all white people, and you know this anyway because you would have been watching all different sources of media and
Yeah.
being fair on the subject, right? And you and I both know when you look on the media elsewhere from the mainstream and you look in these riots, there are people that look like me.
Yeah, mate. Yeah.
And there's people that look like they're from India, and there's also people that are actually of certain religions and stuff, which just feel that certain parts of their own religion is sort of letting them down a bit. But I honestly think that there seem to be tarnishing all white people at the moment, right? From what I can see on the news with this far right thing, and I just think that's a bit out of order. Personally,
Just a little bit.
out of
Just a
order.
little bit, especially when you consider the reason as to why they're doing it. You know, it was the response to something that they've been talking about for a long time. They're just like, look, you're import. Well, there's invaders coming in purposely who are against the culture that we have. They do not like a democratic society. They're just like, no, everybody has to toe the line. Everybody has to do what we say. Everybody has to follow the words written in a particular religious text.
Yeah, that's
And
right.
and if you don't, and if you have an opinion that is opposed to that, or even if you have your own opinion, that is now no longer allowed.
Yeah, sorry, Toshi, my microphone was off. Yeah, I know. It's there's certain opinions that seem to be allowed to get out there, and certain ones that don't. And
Yeah, and all this, the reason they can do that is because they control the resources, they control the media, and
yeah,
they're
no,
paying
obviously, yeah,
people.
obviously, yeah, very obviously, Toshi. That if you control the media, right? I'm not making no insinuations, but I'm listening to the ones that you're making because I know it's of keen interest to yourself and other friends of mine as well. I've just never really been that interested in it, Toshi. Yeah, but the media is out of order, mate. They're as out of order as the McDonald's advert in town that makes 20,000 people want to eat that Big Mac even though they've just eaten their lunch.
Well, yeah, mate, and I mean, if you do a little bit of research on the on that company that you're talking about that has the clown on it, mate, and you're wondering how how there are over 1 million children that go missing every year and how they're never found. Well, there's a lot of evidence out there that suggests there's a certain food distribution company that is making their food from them.
But all of these things will get you banned from YouTube and shadow bans. Like all these things that you talk about like that will get you banned, and they will purposely keep your numbers down unless you talk about them in a certain way. I'm just sort of putting it out there, so Toshi. I'm not saying obviously I'd never tell you again to what to talk about. It's very disrespectful, but I'm just saying, bruv, like this gets picked up, mate. Your numbers will plummet more and more and more because they just don't want people talking about it. Like the fact that I've spoken about racism against white people today, it's risky, but it's out of order, Toshi. Like my, my parents basically brought me up as like, right, you're going to sound English, and you and your brother are English. You understand? Like that's a roast dinner, and that's a full English breakfast. Yeah, right. But in our country, sometimes we eat this. We're going to introduce you to our culture as well. But remember, when you go to school and then all this is where we are,
Yeah,
which I
yeah.
think is good advice because obviously, I think you'd struggle to mingle into a society if that wasn't the case. Like, say, if me and my brother were speaking patois at school in Russian and all the other kids, say, were speaking obviously English, then we would have been ostracized,
Yeah,
right? And
yeah,
that's
yeah.
the beginning of a society there, you could call it, when you're really young. Like people would probably say, well, we don't understand what you're saying, though. So we can't play with you in the playground because we don't know what you're saying,
Yeah,
right? You
yeah,
know?
yeah.
So we've been brought up like that. you know, and if I move to France, Toshi, I think I said this to you last time, right? If I move to France, mate, I'm learning French. I'm buying a baguette.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm
Yeah,
getting a
mate.
stripy, I'm getting a stripy jumper and some garlic around my neck.
Yeah, mate. You know, mate. I've already learnt the most essential expression in French.
What's that?
Voulez-vous coucher avec moi ce soir?
Yeah, does that mean do you have a tiny Corey?
Something like that. But yeah, mate, I'm totally with you on that. You know, a croissant, you know, a baguette, you
Yeah.
know, a jambon et fruits. I'm like, yeah, I'll
Oh,
have some of that. It's great stuff.
exactly. You know, pancake au fromage or whatever. Do
That's
you know what I
right.
mean?
That's it.
You know, a nice cup of coffee and that. You know, I wouldn't go around the streets in Paris going, right, where's my portion of chips? Yeah, where's my portion of chips? I want large cod and chips now. Yeah,
Yeah, mate.
that's
I'd be polite as fuck. I'd be like, bonjour, madame.
yes, of course.
Bonjour, monsieur.
Ooh la la. Listen to him, people. Can you hear that? Is that tickling your ears, people? Mr. Toshi speaking French for you.
Yeah, there we go.
Coming out.
Yeah,
Oh,
you got to
mate.
learn. You know, learn a bit. You know, learning a bit of culture. It's only polite, isn't it? You know,
Mate, let's,
respectful.
let's let's do the next show in French.
Oh, mate, I've just exhausted my French vocabulary on you already, mate. It was a privilege.
You double mine.
I think
But yeah, it's interesting to talk about these things, Toshi, man. And
I
it's a
think
shame.
the only other word I missed out on was pan au chocolat. There we go.
Oh, mate. Oh, yeah, that's slang, isn't it?
Yeah, that's kind of all I know. But all this stuff that's happening, mate, it's all being economically incentivized. That's what I'm saying. So if you control the financial system, then you can create markets because you can economically incentivize people to do what you want them to. You can even get politicians to say what you want them to say.
Mate,
You
I
know?
agree with you because you can manipulate people. You can manipulate people. You know, there's studies that showed it happens and stuff like that. I agree.
Absolutely, you can. Yeah, yeah. And what's that? They have what are the names of the groups that not petition? What are they?
Propaganda.
No, not it wasn't petition. It's where they have groups that consult or talk with politicians. I can't remember.
Yeah, like advice. I know what you mean. Ambassadors or whatever.
That sort of thing. Yeah, exactly. I can't remember what the group. I can't remember what they call the
Is
groups
it
now. But
diplomats?
it's something along those lines, mate. And anybody who's listening, you know, will know what we're talking about. They have them in what do you call it? In America, where they approach politicians and allow them to they're basically giving economic favors or influence to politicians on their decision making, really.
Mm.
If you know what I mean.
I mean, you know, Toshi, right? Yeah. Looking at Boris Johnson and now, I'm not going to slate him, but he had a good old party during the coronavirus, yeah. Right?
Yep.
Can you blame him?
Can I blame him? I suppose I can blame him.
Mate, I think if you give people power and money, it generally gets abused to some sort of level because people are greedy, mate. And as it says in the Bible, mate, the love of money is the root of all evil. Yeah.
Ah, yeah. Well, do you know, actually, again, I mean, it's not actually the love of money; it's the love of fiat currency. Because if it's true money, in order to get true money, you would have to provide a genuine, valuable service.
So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. The Bible is flawed according to SirToshi because of Bitcoin and Craig, right? So Craig's going to sort out the Bible and money at the same time, yeah?
Well, when they wrote the Bible, they probably were becoming confused between money and currency. Because
Mate, if only you could have gone back and schooled them on money. Imagine that.
yeah, man, absolutely, yeah. You know, I'd probably have I'd put you whisper in Jesus's ear, but like, look, mate, it's not the love of money, it's the love of fiat currency. It's currency that's the inflation, so the people create it from nothing, and that's what causes economic devastation and hardship. If money is meant to be a commodity that nobody controls and therefore can't be inflated and therefore the supply is fixed, and therefore the only way you can actually get it is by adding value to people's lives.
Let me put it in simple terms for you people. Yeah, in London today, drug dealers will get killed over fiat money because someone's drugs or someone's money will go missing today, and someone is getting shanked or shot over the love of that money.
Yeah,
Right?
but it's not
That's
money
what
though,
we're
is it? It's fiat
getting.
currency.
Well, I'm not trying to make that argument, Toshi, right? I'm just trying to express that people do things for Bitcoin, for
Yeah,
money,
true.
for value, for a fucking ruby or a Banksy painting. They tried that thing where they were doing thumb scans for banks. Well, people started cutting off people's thumbs.
Oof.
You know, like there was one guy who cut off his dead. I think it was his dead one of his parents' thumbs and continued to use the thumb on a weekly basis to get the money sent.
Oof.
Yeah. And then someone realized, well, this is funny because this thumbprint seems to be getting smaller and smaller at a ridiculous rate.
Hmm.
And then they investigated it and they said, okay, it's the same thumbprint, but it is getting smaller, almost as if it's shrinking like a grape into a raisin.
Oof.
And yeah, so that's what I mean, Tochi, right? So I know what you're saying. I know obviously you've got a passion for the financial system and you're against it and all that. But the point I'm trying to make is like people will do bad stuff for money. Yeah. If
Yep.
someone nicked $1,000 off you, right, or you're going to think about something and you're going to ask yourself where it went all wrong and that, and yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I guess this is what's good about Bitcoin is the fact that you can't take it because it's not tangible. You'd have to
True,
have the code.
it's true, but the bad news is you can't spend it in a single place in the UK, so you'd have to get around that somehow. But um, so you can have this money sitting there that you can't do bollocks all with. I hear what you're saying, but you can't do nothing with it.
Yeah, but that will come with economic incentive. When the economic incentive is there for people to accept it, they will.
Yeah, it could be a few years, but yeah, maybe.
Well, it all depends on number go up, mate. If that number starts rocketing up, there's going to be people falling over themselves to accept
Yeah.
it for.
I love this conversation, mate. I even wrote a tune about our conversation, Toshi. Did you hear it? I even put the lyrics in there for you so you could sing along as well in case it was a bit too ghetto for you. You know what I mean? Right. And I wrote a song about it, Toshi. It was like an argument between two people. Is he or isn't he and all that? It was a bit of fun. But, you lot still believe in it. It could take a while, in my opinion.
Well, I mean, do you remember that talk that CSW gave in Tokyo 2017? He admitted it. At the end of the day, there is economic incentive there. And that's one of that's the primary
It's when it
focus.
suits him, yeah. It's when it suits him, right? Like when the price is crap and everyone's complaining about it, the price doesn't matter. Well, try telling that to Calvin. The price doesn't matter, mate. You ain't gonna tell Calvin the price don't matter.
Well, Calvin doesn't seem all that bothered at the moment. I mean, he's the number of Bitcoin that Tal is raking in. Phew.
Mate, we disagree on that. Yeah, I mean, it's not an asset at all, right? Even if you go off your premise and what you're talking about, even over the last few days, he would have lost a hell of a lot of money.
Yeah, but Calvin's got more than enough money coming in from his Bodog licensing. I mean, he's not bothered about funds coming in at all. All he wants is Bitcoin because you can't
We don't know that for sure.
make.
We don't know that for sure.
Well, I'm pretty sure because he's not sold any of his Tau mining stock. I mean, he bought Tau out, and they've currently got 47% of the hash rate. I mean, if he was really pissed off about it, he would just turn his hash rate off and go sod this, Because I mean, what he spent is it 26 million? Is it 26 million Canadian dollars on it?
Yeah, but isn't it a bit too late to cut his losses now, sort of thing? Even though he's got loads of money, like isn't pride kicking in, sort of thing?
Not really. I mean, the amount of income that he'll have coming in from his Bodog licensing, he would just be like, look, if because it costs, running a mining operation, costs a significant amount. So if he didn't believe in it, he would just jack it in. He'd be like, I'm wasting my money on it. Don't need it.
Well, we were chatting the other day privately, and we were estimating that even if it was something like 100, 200 grand a day, he'll have 5 years at it from here, easy.
I mean, he could. Yeah, I mean, him and Craig could keep mining for 10 years if they really wanted to.
Right, he's me like he's skint and they've frozen all his assets and they tosh. What about, bruv?
Well, he hasn't really. Well, Craig actually hasn't got any assets in his name. They're
It's
all in
true.
trust.
That's one clever thing. It's all in his ex-wives, like wife number 1 and wife number 2 and all that, isn't it?
Well, not even that, mate. It's in trusts. I mean, that's
Yeah.
just like, mate. Every wealthy individual in the world owns nothing. I mean, even look at like J.D. Rockefeller, J.P. Morgan, even Duke of Westminster, all that, mate. They've got nothing in their names. Nothing. It's all in trust. All of it.
Yeah.
Which means they don't own it, and therefore nobody can take it off them.
Yeah. So no keys.
Well, they'll be the keys will be held by the trustees, but the trustees are under a duty to manage the trust for the benefit of the beneficiary.
Toshi, I lost the keys. I stomped on the keys. I lost them. I did have them, but listen, my dog ate them. You know, come on, where's the fucking keys, kid?
Well, yeah, but he didn't say he never actually admitted to not being able to you know. Well, I mean they're in a trust, so the trustees have possession of them.
It's all convenient, mate. It's all and what about the appeal? Wasn't there like a certain number of days or something, Toshi, you were talking about? Was it 19, 21 or something like that? I can't remember what they said now. Was it had 21 days to file an appeal or something, or to ask for an appeal?
Well, his appeal has gone in today, as it was scheduled for. So it's kind of like the judge said, right, you've got to put this, you've got to put this notification on your website, and that notification stands until he appeals. Because then, as soon as the appeal is filed, it's just like, right, well, that ruling, that judgment no longer stands because it's being appealed on certain grounds.
I mean, mate, the fact that he still had to put that on his account is as bad as McCormack and O'Donnell having to do what they've done. They've got one up on him there. They've done him back.
Yeah, maybe
An eye for an eye, Toshi, isn't it? An eye for an eye. They don't like this guy now. Now they're after him to embarrass him and vice versa. So, you know, it's going to be an interesting war of finance, isn't it?
Yeah, it certainly will be. In fact, let me see if I can. I'll see if I've actually got an image of that appeal that's gone up today. Actually, I shall see if I can find it. I'm just I'm gonna put this up on the screen when I get it. Here we go. Excellent. Right, it's up on the screen. People will see this. It says application to appeal has been filed. August 5th, 2024.
Mate, I bet Craig Wright is a laughing stock of Judge Mellor and his team when they go out drinking, you know, all the solicitors and all the... Oh, have you heard? No, go and tell me what's happened. What's happened? Go on. Everybody quiet, please. Listen, everybody quiet. I've got an announcement. Oh, it's so funny. It really... Are you ready, everybody? Are you ready? This clown, Craig, is filed an appeal. Raucous laughter, Toshi, in his face. I'm telling you, Toshi, raucous laughter.
Oh. Well, the thing is, though, we'll see what happened because Judge Mellor was corrupt as fuck, mate. He was using maritime law on the land, and he was constantly referring to Craig as Dr. Wright, which is his legal fiction. So his legal fiction can't speak. It's got no human rights. He can't create anything. So therefore he can genuinely say it's clear that Dr. Wright didn't write the white paper, didn't start the network, because Dr. Wright can't do anything. Dr. Wright is a legal fiction.
No, mate, you're clutching at nothing there.
Mate, have you ever read the CES2KV Act? It says it clear as day in there. That is your maritime legal fiction.
Mate, they would have agreed on what name to fucking term him by. They're not that stupid, are they?
Well, mate, this is the fraud that's being perpetrated on everybody right now. You have a legal fiction, mate.
So the reason why he lost his legal fiction, he's going to win this appeal is because he was called Dr. Wright. Is that what you're saying?
Well, who knows, mate? I mean, if he continues to allow them to call him Dr. Wright, he will lose because he cannot speak, they cannot hear him. He has got no human rights whatsoever.
So the whole court case could have been avoided if they had just listened to you from the start and not called him Dr. Wright and called him Craig or whatever, yeah?
That's correct.
Honestly, people, this man's head's gone. right? He's written the Bible. He's done more studying than Judge Mellor. He knows finance better than any individual on the planet.
Oh, cheers, mate. I'll take that as a compliment.
Toshi, mate. What happens if Mellor hears this and he comes after you? What are you gonna do then?
Hey, bring it on. I'll bring it on, mate. I'll tell you, mate. He knows what he's done. That's malfeasance in public office. That is lifetime imprisonment.
Why don't you sue Judge Mellor?
Well, if BSV goes up in value, I might just do it.
So basically, spend 3 million on look. You called him Dr. Right. I want to sort that out. Get his name right.
Well, yeah, there is that, but I mean, the thing is, it's the legal system, it's the political system, it's the police. I mean, like they're all in on this one world government, mate. It's really not pretty at all. But this is the truth that they're trying to hide from people. But it will come to people clear as day if they get their way. Like you've got Keir Starmer, or two-tier Keir as they call him, or Keir Starlin. Using what's happened recently as an excuse to install a surveillance state, just like they did with 9/11 over in the States. It's literally all it is a surveillance state. But as we know, criminals cover their faces. How on earth is more facial recognition gonna make it safer? All it's gonna do is actually track and trace those innocent people who have no idea what's going on.
I can get a mask here that looks just like you.
Well, yeah.
Easy. A prosthetic mask.
Yeah. Yeah, you can get, yeah. It's literally all they're doing is using it as an excuse to surveil the entire population of this country, so that they'll be sending them letters, fining them, come and get your old jibby jabby once a month, make sure you're up to date, save granny and all this crap. They're gonna do it again, mate.
I mean, I still haven't had that jab. Yeah.
Yeah, mate. Screw that. Do you know what I mean? Like, I was like Neo in the Matrix, mate, dodging those bullets.
I went to London, Toshi, with no mask on. Yeah, I think I told you this last time, right? I went to London with no mask on at all, and this was in the height of the coronavirus, and there was people all around me. Yeah, and then on that train on the underground, obviously people were coughing and sneezing and all sorts. Yeah, is a mask honestly going to be? It doesn't, like. Even if a person coughed at one end of that train, in that carriage, that every single person in there will get some of that micro dust.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Spittle, or whatever you want to call it, right?
Yeah.
So it's pathetic, mate. And all people were doing was breathing in their own carbon dioxide, and then the mask gets dirty on the front, and then people breathing in all that through the air that you're trying to breathe in. Toshi.
Yeah, mate. I'm totally with you on that. Totally with you on that.
Oh, it's terrible, man. And then people that wanted to punch my face in for not wearing a mask, yeah.
Did you actually get people doing that?
Mate, like people approach me going, why aren't you wearing a mask? Well, I'm actually asthmatic, so there's nothing you can do, yeah. So don't want to die, so I have to wear no mask.
Did you? I'm surprised, like, because obviously you being a ethnic minority with your skin colour, normally people wouldn't say boo to you, like nothing.
Mate, talking about what has my skin colour got to do with that? Yeah, whether I'm wearing a mask or not, ignoring people. He's trying to incite reactions here. Yeah, I'm just talking about wearing a mask, regardless of what colour you are, right? And not wearing a mask during the coronavirus. Yeah, it wouldn't have mattered if I was white or black, actually. Yeah. So let's just say I look like you, and I'm walking through town and I'm wearing no mask. I would have got the same reaction, right? And then these people now, I see them in town, and they're flemming in my face while they're talking with no mask on. Mate, guess where I was last week? Yeah, oh my day. And you're thinking, mate, your spit was coming out your mouth. Spit was coming out your mouth.
Yeah.
And then 2 years ago, you wanted to, given the opportunity, like some of these people would have grabbed people not wearing masks. Like you've seen footage of it where people have been started on.
Yeah, mate, nuts.
And the same people are flemming down your throat. You don't see like you say, the only people I see wearing masks now is potential drug dealers.
I still see old people scared witless. They're just like they're wearing masks in their own car and outside.
Right, that's right. Yeah, it's true. You do see that, yeah.
It's insane. But the thing is, though, I know that anybody who's wearing a mask is going to be breathing out spike protein because they've been injected with this crap. So it's just like, you keep that mask on, love. I don't want to be anywhere near you. You know.
I think they screwed up on the on that jab and all that. You know. The thing is, Toshi, when the reason why I didn't do it, right, was because I heard Boris Johnson saying something on the news like, right, we're now in a race to see who can you get the virus. We've put 40 billion down or something, and that was it. That's enough information for you. Like, I'm not interested in a race for a virus thing. I am not taking it if there's a race for it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, good point.
Race to me means you're trying to obviously rush it, obviously.
Mm.
So, in other words, when you break that question down into simple English, it's we're trying to race for an injection.
Yeah.
We want to give all of you who wants to line up for it. So my obvious instinct was, you lot can go first.
Yeah.
If you're all right and no one has anything, I'll probably go in. But actually, what happened was a load of people's cloggers went walkies.
Yeah, mate. Yeah. Same. I mean, usually if you know, these things take at least a decade of
like
testing and hundreds of billions of dollars, mate. Sometimes to get onto the market.
Yeah, like the flu jab.
Yeah. And that still don't work.
And it may lessen the effects of the flu jab or whatever they call it, but you know, nah.
Yeah, mate, I'm with you on that. But I remember I was on another channel before talking about the benefits of aloe vera, and they seem to think that one comment got the channel banned. So I'll just bear that in mind.
Well, the aloe vera was good for you.
Well, exactly. It's just a plant, you know. It's got lots of nutrients in there.
What's wrong with aloe vera though?
I was suggesting that it could be used for what's the word? I was suggesting it could be used as an alternative herbal remedy.
Yeah. Well, people say ivermectin as well, don't they?
We can talk about that now. Well, we can say the words. Yeah. How nuts is that?
I know, like Ben. You know, Ben was on about it a while ago, and I saw it on Stephen Bartlett's show recently.
Oh yeah, you watched that with Asim Malhotra.
Yeah, he was eloquent chap who used to be a doctor.
Yeah, mate. Yeah. I've met him.
Yeah, what's he like? He seems really nice, actually.
Yeah, mate. Spot on. He's the same age as me and you, mate.
Okay, cool, man. He seems like he seems like he'd be really good for a chatter.
Yeah, he's tall. I shit you not, mate. He's like 6'3", 4". He's massive.
He's lanky, mate. Yeah, he's got you know, he can probably touch the ring on a basketball court, sort of thing.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. I was actually quite surprised when I met him. I was just like, holy shit, you are really effing tall. Jeepers, you know.
Can't you get him on for a chat with us?
I'm working on it, mate. I'm working. Mate, believe me, if things pan out the way they plan out, there'll be guests coming on this show left, right, and centre, mate.
What, in 2055? Hello, I'm SirToshi, the defender of Bitcoin, the million trader. Mate, we don't need Bitcoin to blow up on the internet, me and you. We just need personality and Bitcoin to feature in the conversations, good or bad. We don't need Bitcoin, mate. We don't need nothing apart from a nice bit of chatter, a couple of mates having a go. That's all we need.
Yeah, but if the subject matter is extremely popular and in people's minds, that helps get the volume of listeners up, doesn't it?
Yeah, but at the moment it's just not that popular. I reckon you're looking at a good few years, mate. No one cares about it. All those young people started booing at that thing, didn't they, when they mentioned Bitcoin?
Started booing?
Yeah.
I've got a vague recollection of that. When what was that? Where was it mentioned? Was it
some clown was talking at something with a load of these undergraduates, and
that's right. Oh yeah, it was the American football game.
Yeah, and then they had the speech about Bitcoin, and all these young ones were doing it.
Yeah, mate. Yeah. I remember that.
You know, because you do hear a lot of them say like, "There's nothing you can really do with it" and stuff like that. Like you do hear a lot of them saying that, and obviously they're probably referring to BTC, and they're right. And the funny thing is, they're right, and BTC seem to admit it, but in a different way. They just seem to, mate. I don't.
It was pretty bad taste. Do you know what I mean? You're at an American football game. Yeah. And somebody's like trying to pitch you a financial proposition, you know, do one, and particularly a risky one like that. everyone knows, the price is like volatile and all this. It's just, I totally get what they were saying while they were booing. But as CSW said, he said, Bitcoin will be no good for speculators, and that's once the utility value is recognised.
Yeah, Craig, shut up. Yeah, right. I want my number up, you clown. I want my 0.22 up. So I'm speculating. Yeah, like every single other person that's ever followed you, we're all speculating on the price. You clown. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, well, if things pan out, we take it back and say, look, Craig, I was harsh on you, but I'm sorry now.
Yeah, exactly, mate. He
Yeah.
can all win this. He can win all up, mate. He can. I know you love him, but he can win my respect back. Yeah, without a shadow of doubt. But you don't want it. He don't want it anyway.
I don't know,
He's not,
mate.
mate. He doesn't want it anyway, right? He is not a people's person. He does not give a shit about people. Like he gives me that strong impression, and he said it. Like he doesn't even believe in groups and all that. And
Yeah,
I think
but he believes in commoditization, and that's what he's created. And this thing scales beyond anything that anyone has ever seen
I
in
think he
this world.
believes in people massaging his ego and how intelligent he is.
Well, I don't know, mate. I mean, I think he's quite happy on his own, mate. I think if he could go through life without having to deal with people, he probably would choose that.
No, I reckon if you give him a choice of not having to deal with people or go on stages in suits that are too big for you and spout a load of shit for 35 minutes, which one? I reckon he'd take the second, Toshi. He loves it. He loves it.
You reckon? I
Yeah, I
mean,
reckon.
what? Well, I mean, he's certainly got better at it.
There's something. There's some people out there, Toshi, whose ego will come from people telling them how smart they are. I'm telling you, mate. And he's one of them. He loves it. He needs it. That's why, like, criticizing his qualifications and that really upsets him, doesn't it? You know, there's
Oh yeah, I
academics,
suppose
the
so.
people who fancy themselves as academics. They get very precious over their how people perceive their intelligence. Like someone like me, Toshi, I couldn't care less whether people think I'm smart or not. It will never ever affect my vibe. But I reckon for someone like Craig, it will affect his vibe if someone were to deem him, say, less smart than Gandhi or less smart than Einstein. Remember that day he went for Gandhi, just had a fucking tear up with Gandhi. You think, mate, what's up with you today? What's Gandhi done now? Right. And to be fair, when you look into Gandhi, he was a bit of a wrong one in some things, though, wasn't he?
I don't. Do you know? I don't know too much about um,
Yeah.
Gandhi. I mean, he was. Yeah. Actually, you're right. He was in terms of his approach as to. Well, I mean, I guess he viewed the British occupation in
Just look at
India
some of his
as
relationships, mate. Just have a look into some of his relationships with women and then just leave it at that.
right. Got ya. Yeah.
No, Craig, I reckon he's one of those, Toshi. I reckon he's one of those people who needs that people to tell him that how smart he is. And, when it comes to like quoting literature and history, the sun shines out of his batigol. But there are people like that. He wants to be seen as an academic who's uber smart, who's got X amount of PhDs and degrees, and he would die a happy man if people can say stuff like that about him, rather than oh, you've got loads of money through Bitcoin or whatever.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, maybe. I mean, certainly when he got the amount that he's got, like, well, when I had a chat with him, his opinion was that after someone's got $10 million in the bank, he said it's never about money anymore. He said it's all sex and power, which is true. He said nobody needs more than 10 million.
Is
No
that why
one.
he was on Tinder Gold?
Is that why what?
Is that why he was on Tinder Gold?
Tinder Gold? What's that?
Like top membership on Tinder? The receipts that they found, yeah.
Oh wait, really? I didn't know that.
He married a few couple of times, didn't he? Like, so
That's
usually
that's true.
marriages tend to end because someone either couldn't keep it in their pants or someone couldn't keep their legs shut, didn't they?
There,
Yeah.
there, there is that, or
And
just it fizzles out over time.
yeah, but it usually fizzles out because the money fizzles out. Everyone doesn't look sexy anymore, and
Yeah,
all of a sudden, that one with a fit ass walks past, and your eyes start wandering or whatever. Do you know what I mean?
yeah, yeah.
It's a shame. It shouldn't happen, but I think we can rule a lot of them out.
Yeah. I think you're right.
You know, and he probably maybe likes the birds, mate. I mean, he got a semi over that Robin Delissa, yeah. Stood there in that picture, and we're all going, "Oi, oi, Sems," weren't we? Right, and then the picture disappeared. Do you remember? We're going, "Oi, oi, Sems," and all the Yanks were going, "What's Sems?" What's Sems, Toshi?
Yeah.
And none of us wanted to explain, man. Yeah, but then the picture disappeared, so someone's obviously clocked it, and they. But no, look, I'm not. You know, I shouldn't slate his character too much. I think a lot of, like you pointed out on the first show back, Toshi, when we first started talking, when I went off on one like a firework, right? A lot of people are pissed off at the moment, and rightly so. I'm not the only one.
Yeah, mate. I get it. I get it.
You know? I've even had people that are like diehard Craig fans that once or twice within their love of his work and whatever and personality have even said, "Oh, he's let us down a little bit" and all that. You know, I've heard little cracks in people like that. And then there's also people that have completely and obviously disappeared from the whole thing. You could put Ben and I into that group. We don't really, like I said to you the other day, Toshi, we're not looking to do business in BSV at all at the moment. And everyone seems to be disappearing at the moment. That's how it is. Depressing for you. But it is how it is, Tosh. Like, it's not like people are flooding in to do business. Is there any more developments on these big companies that you were talking about?
Well, I suspect they'll probably will. You know, I mean, but the thing is, before Terranode comes out, it's all speculation. You know, we can speculate till the cows come home. You know, just like BTC is speculating on the price. I mean, that's all they talk about, mate. It's so effing boring. It does nothing.
Well, I agree with you. Like, you know, if you're an entrepreneur, Toshi, it's really boring, right? It's a letdown. I mean, again, like, I'm all happy for everyone getting rich. You, them, like Ethereum, everyone. I'm cool for that. But as an entrepreneur, you do crave, well, come on in, what we got here then? What can we do with this then? What you know, we got Ben the coder. You know, he can put anything anywhere, right? You've got me who's always up for it. You know, we've got other people that would be interested, but there's just nothing happening, bro. In BTC, you can't do nothing with it, in my opinion. Apart from
you can't do anything with any of these
McCormack's
pieces.
Treasury. Look at McCormack's Treasury. I was bigging that up the other day, right? And I'm not going to sit here and slate it because it would appear overall that he's vastly up on where he started with that treasury. Okay. However, as we can both point out, Toshi, without even being that good at maths, he's lost a considerable amount of money over the last 2 weeks, and that's the danger with it. And the thing is, if you can't use it, one thing we totally agree on is that if you cannot actually use it, I personally can't see what the value pull is. And you can sell me HODL all you want, right? But all I can think of with HODL is that you have to then go on convincing generations to never ever touch it and like just keep looking at it.
Exactly, yeah. That's called a Ponzi scheme.
Well, again, like we agree on these little weird things, Toshi. Even though I don't give a shit about this anymore, it's good to discuss because yes, I'm with you on that. Otherwise, like I'd be cash if I'd have gone in at 5, 6, 10 grand on BTC. I'd be doing what Crypto Rover is doing and cashing some out to buy myself a new Porsche and all that.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, but then a lot of these people say you shouldn't even do that, and they move out of nice houses to sell it to buy more Bitcoin. Right? That for me is dangerous, man.
Yeah, mate.
You know.
Yeah.
And then these people that go off with their families and stuff, don't they, Toshi?
Yeah, but I mean, like I said, it's the powers that be that have done all this. If they'd let Bitcoin just scale as Satoshi intended, you know, so that the miners can economically sustain their mining operations from the block fee when the block reward diminishes, you know, well, there wouldn't be any of this controversy. None.
And you've also got to blame Satoshi Nakamoto for being a knobhead.
Well, not really. I mean, he couldn't really come out and reveal himself until January 2020.
Yeah, but he didn't explain anything, did he?
Yeah, but he couldn't. He couldn't explain anything because then he would have had influence over the growth of the network, which would have declassified. Well, it would have discredited its classification as a commodity.
But then now, you know, if Craig was Satoshi, he's now sort of, you know, coming out quick to explain a lot of how these things could have worked and that. You know, look, all the opcodes have been turned off, Toshi, haven't they? Pretty much. I don't know what they're doing with the opcodes at the
Well, they're all
moment.
being turned back on.
What BTC ones?
No. BTC is designed to be an absolute piece of crap. They do not want people using it.
Well, that's what I'm trying to say about the opcodes, right? I mean, just for the listeners, yeah, that may not give a shit about Bitcoin that join this chat of Toshi and ours that we do from time to time. The opcodes, from my understanding in very basic English, is what gives an entrepreneur the ability to use a network like Bitcoin. Operation codes, okay, people.
Absolutely.
So, for example, Ethereum is pretty much an opcode, and then it's something like, Vitalik wanted it on Bitcoin. He wasn't allowed that on there, and then felt like, well, to do business on this, we have to go off and do this over here then. And there you have Ethereum. So that's why a lot of people don't even blame people like Vitalik too badly, even though the system's flawed and it can't handle its own fees and gas, and it eats its own arsehole from the back end.
It still does something.
Yeah, he was only trying, Toshi. That's what I mean. He's a skinny runt who puts bogey on walls and that, but he was trying something, wasn't he? He was trying something. And actually, do you know what, Toshi? When I see him on shows and that, he ain't such a bad lad, Honestly,
Yeah.
I hate to admit it, but he ain't such a bad lad. He ain't such a bad lad, Toshi.
Well, apart from building backdoors into Ethereum so that the developers have got complete control of the network, that's not exactly good, is it? What's all this decentralized? Oh yeah, but Ethereum's got backdoors that the developers can access the system with. What's all that about?
Well, he is king of the castle there, yeah. And again, it's another one of these things which it's worth so much money now. It's hard to start then changing the rules and stuff, isn't it, Toshi? I do worry about that because how do you stop Ethereum now? Really, even though we all know it doesn't work at scale and all that, how do you actually stop it?
People just simply stop buying it because they're not using it. If something else comes along that is far more usable and that requires the purchase of a digital token in order to access the network, then Ethereum goes to pot because it can't scale. You can't use it. You can't use it for HD streaming videos and voice calls and social media and all that. It doesn't work.
No, at scale it doesn't work.
Yeah. So therefore, and again, if it can't scale, it is not a commodity because it has to be common to everyone, meaning everybody has common access to it. And if the gas fees are so high and only those people who are loaded can actually afford to send a transaction or create a smart contract on it, that's not common. And again, as they always say, if it's inaccessible to the poor, it's neither radical nor revolutionary.
Go on. Sorry, Toshi, go on.
And that's what Bitcoin is. Bitcoin is radical and revolutionary because it is accessible to the poor. It scales for everybody. Everyone can afford to use it. Microtransactions.
What I'd go on to say then, from the entrepreneur's point of view, is that even though it does look accessible to the entrepreneur, there comes a point where it's inaccessible. Okay, because of the fees. Right?
What, on BSV?
On Ethereum.
Oh yeah, totally, yeah.
Right, so the fees begin to eat up any of your profit, and you end up in a lot of trouble. Now, to put that in context for people, in England, we pretty much pay for most things by card now, or people pay on their phone a lot, right? Visa charge a phenomenal amount of money for that process.
Yeah, they do.
The shop owner is in a position where they can't tell the person who's making the purchase about that particular transaction fee.
Yeah, it's well out of order. That's well out of order, isn't it?
So I know every time I'm buying something in the UK, only because I've got a slight interest in it as an entrepreneur, people. I understand that 90% of people don't give a monkey's about what I'm saying because they just go and buy the stuff in the shop on their card. But the prices would be a lot cheaper if there was a different system than Visa that's antiquated and old, allowing shop owners to even move the pound. The Mars bar in the shop that's 59 pence now or whatever, you could definitely put that down to 49 pence if the fees were moving about how they should be in this day and age, even if you're looking at the fiat.
Yeah, and how bad is that? That literally, I mean, how ridiculous is this? A shopkeeper has a charge that he has to cover, and he's just like, look, if you want to pay by this method, it costs me extra. Therefore, I'm going to pass that cost on to you. And
Yeah.
yet they've been told they're not allowed to say. I mean, this is
They
literally.
can say, but they're not in a position to say, because if my shop owner goes, if I say to my shop owner, mate, listen, I'm not being funny, but why is this can of Coke like £1.09? Oh, well, Visa, don't blame me, blame. Shut up when you talk about Visa. The average person don't even know what you're on about.
True.
Right? They don't even know what you're on about. Yeah, but the Visa fee, especially in this day and age where things are done on a system that Visa, you can say, wasn't really that well designed for, is extortionate. But it is hidden from that angle, Toshi. It's not like they're not allowed to say. They can say, but you wouldn't, as a shop owner, start complaining to your customers, would you? Because then they're going to think, well, I'm going to go to the next shop then because this dickhead always moans about the Visa or whatever he's on about. So you can't really, they've got you by the short and curlies, Toshi, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, what's the? I mean, I can't. Last time I looked at the fees, like Visa and Mastercard were charging like 2.5% or something like that. American Express was like 5%. I mean, that's almost like That's almost like your total profit margin gone. 5% on some products is huge.
Well, most retail, I mean, I'm thinking about the retail guys. They've looked to try and, like you say, 5% is here and there, but on many products can go for more. But it's still, Toshi, it's the person on the street who pays, or if we're paying an unnecessary fee for every transaction, which if you accumulated all those fees together and put them in a pot, it would actually be a lot of freaking money every day.
Yeah.
Right? It's almost wasted because of an antiquated system that I think you and I can both agree on.
Absolutely.
Why are we using such an antiquated system, Toshi, when we are clearly in the digital age?
Agreed. Absolutely agreed.
Why haven't Visa? And again, like, this will piss the BTC people off a lot, but why can't Visa use a system that can carry transactions in their absurd amounts and bring the fee down for the shop owner, allowing them to make either more profit with a less of a price? In fact, that's exactly what it would do. It'd be as simple as that, wouldn't it, Toshi?
Well, even better than that for Visa and Mastercard, they could still continue to charge the same amount, but the amount it would actually cost them would be substantially less, so their profits would be massive.
I mean, they could be greedy, but a third party might probably come in and go, well, okay, we'll go at least half what they're doing, then come over here.
Yeah, exactly. Competition.
And that's what you call minors competitions, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
And we've had things described to us.
Yeah.
People competing, and again, on that note, people, you need the large amount of transactions for that system, that competition to arise in the first place. And Toshi did mention that about 20 or so minutes ago. So even though we laugh and joke about these things and they may be 20 years down the line, as an entrepreneur on paper, you do feel for some shop owners that they don't know about stuff that can actually reduce their fees dramatically.
Yeah. Absolutely, mate. On that note, I've just been cooked my lovely dinner here by my girlfriend, mate.
Enjoy.
I'm going to have to love you and leave you. And Peter, we'll have to pick this up again, mate. It's been good.
We'll do it again, man. Enjoy your dinner, and thank you for that, Toshi. Enjoyed it a lot, mate.
All right, mate. Have a good afternoon, and we'll chat soon.
See you soon.
See you, mate.
Too. Take it easy.